Just some quick thoughts about Kenny Veach and the time of year he went up. Now that it's no longer summer, and even when I walk up to the store in the morning, I'm bundled up. I'm wearing a coat. I'm not freezing to death, but no, my hands are freezing, and so it's really hitting home that remember Kenny Veach didn't go missing until almost a month deeper into the winter than what we are now, the middle of November. And once again, this stuff here, that's snow. I don't know when a Google Earth picture was taken, but the colder it gets, it's making me adjust my thoughts. Remember, the altitude of Wild Horse Saddle or Wild Horse Pass is over 1,000 miles higher than Denver. And so, even down here, elevation 6,400 feet down in here near the M cave. That's pretty high up. Even there, you're over a mile up, and I can tell it when I'm up there, the lack of oxygen, since I'm an old timer. I can feel it. So the colder it gets, it really makes me think he didn't go up here. He would be by the time he went missing, there could easily be snow appearing, for a day or two in the tops of the mountains up here. The other thing is that he would really have to be well packed with a sleeping bag, a tent, and even then in a tent, when it gets down to freezing, don't think you're warm in that tent. You're not. You wake up fitfully and you're damp and cold, and that increases the odds he would not have toughed out a 12-hour night in a tent or sleeping bag, that he would have got up and started hiking at night, to keep warm, even if he worked back, that it was too cold or whatever. But I lean against that he was way up here. When he said, I spent the night up there, that wasn't in the winter. That was, months earlier during the warm weather. It increases the odds that the cell phone could have been dropped, because when you're hiking up, bundled up, it could be pretty cold, but no, you start sweating, and it increases the odds that the cell phone may have been dropped as he took off clothes, arriving up here sweating. But then it gets tricky, because then you get cold again if you stop and you're not climbing. But I lean against that he was way up here on these goddamn hilltops, almost in the middle of winter. Increases the odds that he would have dropped down and went up like he said he was going to do. But then as night approached, it could still be pretty toasty, but not once you get deep into the night. Okay, so let's assume possible hypothermia. Well, almost no matter how cold it is, you're not going to, if you get up and keep going, you're not going to freeze to death. You'll keep your body temperature up, and he could work back. Or possibly bail out and go down to the lower elevations. But no way would he have lasted spending 2 freezing nights with it down to freezing, which it almost is down here in Las Vegas in the night. So anyway, there's just some thoughts. And of course, the other thing is that if something happened, like an injury, that in our minds we picture, well, I'm going to go for 40 miles forever up here. That, well, something occurred at the furthest extent of his possible travels, when actually he could have been here messing around and maybe went up here during the daytime, and something could have occurred, the first day. It doesn't have to be where it was at the furthest extent of his travels. But I'll tell you right now, it's a totally different equation as things really start getting cold down here. I mean, we get snow here in Las Vegas, let alone up in the mountaintops. once it actually is getting cold and you look up into those mountaintops, you're walking up to the store. I mean, he was up there in ass freezing cold. Now, it's not like he couldn't have done it, but I highly doubt that he could have made it. If he made it through one fitful night, it's highly unlikely he would have toughed it out for another night. But anyway, there's some thoughts. I kind of rule against being way up high. He could have went up into these various canyons, ravines of interest, yes. But there's just some thoughts. The equation is totally different, I realize well now, from when he went missing towards when people were sitting toasty warm in the summer theorizing. So that's it. I don't know. I have no way of knowing where he could be other than that in this area, unless he did fake his own death, this, that, the other thing. That is possible. I'm not saying it's not possible.